Well, before the SJO Constitution Team heads out to Washington, D.C. for the We the People National Finals, we thought we'd put them to the test.
And we're going to simulate an actual competition here with the questions, and hopefully they have all the right answers. So you've got the first one, Grace.
Yeah, so you guys ready? Okay, all right. Throughout our history, each proposed expansion of the right to vote was greeted with opposition. What are the similarities and differences that characterize the opposition to expanding the right to vote?
Yeah, so kind of at the birth of our nation, when we were still in the process of separating from Great Britain, a lot of the thinking remained the same. So for voting, only white male property owners could vote. And this was backed by Federalist 68 that Hamilton wrote. And that's just the way that they wanted to keep it at the time, and there was no kind of possibility in changing it.
Thankfully, though, change came about, right? So the 15th Amendment, the 19th Amendment, those allowed far more people to vote. But the problem was, whenever the opposition vote, they didn't have a good reason. For the most part, it was based on prejudice and resistance to change, which is really hard to overcome, which is why it just took so long for those groups of people to be enfranchised in the long run.
Okay. And now, since nobody else is wanting the mic, then that's
the next question.
They'd move on to the next question. Okay. How would they judge that?
Well, so they would be judged based off of whether they referenced any constitutional foundational issues like Federalist 68. Do they reference amendments throughout? So we mentioned a couple different amendments and made links over time. So are there historical connections for evidence? Did they have any reasoning throughout their argument? Did each group member participate? So that you heard a little bit from Unit 3, and Unit 3's their main focus is trying to achieve the ideals of the Declaration of Independence.
Okay, let's do one more question before we run out of time.
Yes.
Mercy Otis Warren argued that the new Constitution was, quote, dangerously adapted to the purposes of an immediate aristocratic tyranny. Do you agree with Warren? Why or why not?
We disagree with Mercy Otis Warren's take that the Constitution was dangerously adapted, or that was dangerously adapted to fit our country. But the Constitution was created through multiple months within the Constitutional Convention held in Philadelphia. And so through this convention, we developed the bicameral legislature and the president itself. And so there's many checks and balances that we have throughout our country that prevent it from being an aristocratic tyranny.
They're all confident with your answer. Yeah. Congratulations. Okay, well, this was just a little snippet of all of the things that they've been working on since summer. You can breathe now. I feel like you got a little nervous there, but that's okay. That's right. You've got some great events happening to help get you all to Washington, D.C. We've got pasta, we've got trivia, we've got pickleball. Quickly give everybody a little reminder and a shout out to all of our sponsors here.
Of course. We have numerous amounts of sponsors. We've got Martin Hood. We also have Libman Brooms is another huge one. And especially thank you to St. Joseph Ogden IGA. They have helped out a lot for us, especially even setting up a shopping spree for raffle tickets. And it's a great, great opportunity. We thank all of our sponsors.
Well, and we thank you for coming and sharing a little civics lesson here with us at CI Living. All right. We are pulling for them to come home national champions.
That's right.
But you're going to have to follow them on Facebook to see if that happens, and then stay tuned for the update here on CI Living.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. Yes. All right, to learn more about the SJO Constitution Team and help support them at any of those upcoming events, head to CILiving.tv.